Liam had always dreamed of exploring the stars. He spent his childhood reading old books about distant planets, imagining the strange creatures and vast cities that might exist beyond Earth. When he finally got the chance to join the interstellar exploration program, he knew it was the moment he had been waiting for his entire life. Now, standing on the surface of Viridian, a planet he had only seen in scans, Liam felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. The planet stretched endlessly before him, covered in dense forests of tall, silver-leaved trees. Their branches shimmered under the light of a greenish sun, and soft mist hovered near the ground. Strange birds with glowing feathers flew in patterns above the canopy, singing sounds that were almost like music. Liam felt as if he had stepped into a dream. He checked his equipment, making sure his exploration suit was fully functional, and adjusted the small communicator on his wrist. He had landed near a wide valley, but in the distance, something unusual caught his eye. A massive structure rose above the forest, taller than any building Liam had ever seen. Its walls were smooth and reflective, like a combination of crystal and metal. The shape was elegant, with curved towers reaching toward the sky. Liam's heart raced. Could it be a city, or was it a palace? His instincts told him that he was about to discover something extraordinary. Cautiously, Liam started toward the structure. As he walked, he noticed that the plants here were different from the rest of the forest. Some had leaves that changed colors when touched, and flowers opened and closed as if they were alive. Strange insects with translucent wings hovered near him, moving in patterns that were both mesmerizing and slightly intimidating. Despite the beauty, Liam remained alert. He had been trained to expect the unexpected, and this planet felt full of surprises. As he drew closer, he realized that the structure was indeed a palace. The gates were open, inviting but grand. Liam stepped inside, his boots making soft noises on the smooth floor. The air was cool, and the interior was filled with light that seemed to come from nowhere. The walls were decorated with intricate patterns that moved slightly, like they were alive. Liam's eyes widened. He had never seen anything like this. Suddenly, a figure appeared at the far end of the hall. Liam froze. It was tall and graceful, unlike any creature he had seen before. Its skin shimmered faintly in the light, and its eyes were large and deep, almost as if they could see into his mind. Liam took a careful step forward. He had no idea if this being was friendly or dangerous. The figure spoke, but not in words Liam could understand. Instead, he felt the meaning directly in his mind. "You are here." The voice was calm, powerful, and commanding. Liam's heart skipped a beat. He had encountered many alien species before, but none had communicated this way. Then something even more shocking happened. The figure, now clearly recognizable as the alien queen, dropped to her knees the moment she saw him. Liam stumbled backward in surprise. He could not understand why a ruler, a being of immense power, would show such humility to a human. His mind raced with questions. Was this a gesture of fear, respect, or something else entirely? For a moment, the palace was silent except for the soft hum of lights and the faint rustle of plants. Liam realized that the attendants, smaller alien beings who had appeared from the sides of the hall, were also watching him closely. Their expressions were unreadable, but they did not move to attack. This was clearly unusual. Humans had not been on this planet in many generations. "Hello," Liam said slowly, trying to sound calm and friendly. "I am Liam. I come from Earth." He did not know if the queen could understand him, but speaking gave him a sense of control. The queen remained on her knees, her head slightly bowed. Then the meaning of her gesture began to become clearer. Liam noticed a symbol on her chest, one that seemed familiar from the old historical records he had studied before the mission. His ancestors had traveled to Viridian centuries ago, building connections with the native species. Liam felt a strange sense of recognition, as if the queen somehow knew him, or at least the bloodline he came from. He stepped closer, his curiosity growing stronger than his fear. Why are you kneeling?" he asked, his voice steady despite his excitement. The queen did not answer with words, but her eyes seemed to convey a mixture of respect and reverence. Liam realized that this planet, these creatures, had been waiting for someone like him. Someone from humanity.kl, the Queen's advisor, appeared then, a slightly smaller alien with delicate wings and a calm presence. He bowed slightly to Liam and spoke in a gentle voice that Liam could understand directly in his mind. You are the first human to return to Viridian. Your ancestors helped shape our civilizations. The Queen kneels in honor of that connection. Liam's eyes widened. He had studied history, but he had never imagined it could lead to this moment. Humans were thought to be extinct here, yet somehow, he carried the legacy of those who had once walked this planet. His pride was mixed with awe. He had come as an explorer, but now he realized he was also a bridge between worlds. The Queen slowly rose, her posture still regal, but less formal than before. Liam noticed the subtle confidence in her movements. She was not afraid of him. She respected him. He felt a strange warmth of trust building between them, the palace, the forests, even the strange creatures outside. All seemed to hold their breath as the moment settled into quiet. Significance. Kale gestured for Liam to follow. Come, he said. There is much to explain. The Queen wishes to share her knowledge with you. Liam followed cautiously, looking at the intricate walls and the softly glowing lights. Every step felt like walking deeper into a living story, a world full of history and mystery. As they moved, Liam wondered what other secrets this planet held. Why had humans disappeared from Viridian? What dangers might still linger in the forests beyond the palace? And most importantly, why had the alien queen recognized him, a simple human, with such honor? For the first time in his life, Liam felt that exploration was no longer just about discovering new worlds. It was about understanding the connections that spanned generations, species, and galaxies. He had arrived as a stranger, but perhaps he was about to become a key part of the story much larger than himself. The green sun outside cast long shadows through the palace windows. Liam took a deep breath, ready for whatever awaited him. One thing was clear. His journey on Viridian had only just begun. Liam followed Kale through the palace corridors. The walls were alive with soft patterns that moved like currents of water. Strange symbols glowed faintly, and the air smelled faintly of flowers Liam had never seen before. Every step he took filled him with both wonder and curiosity. He had explored planets before, but nothing had ever felt like this. This palace seemed almost alive, aware of his presence. Kale stopped in a wide chamber filled with light that seemed to have no source. At the center, the alien queen waited, seated on a platform made of a crystal-like material. Her posture was still regal, but there was no longer the formality that made her seem distant. Instead, she appeared calm, as if expecting him. Liam noticed that the queen's eyes, large and luminous, seemed to hold both wisdom and sadness. You are safe here, Kale said, his voice soft but clear in Liam's mind. The Queen has awaited your arrival. She recognizes the connection you carry. It is not common for humans to be remembered here. Liam frowned slightly. Recognized? Remembered? How? He asked, his mind racing. Humans haven't been here for centuries. How could anyone remember us? Kale gestured for him to sit on a low bench nearby. Your ancestors were different, he explained. They came to Viridian long ago, when humans were explorers and builders. They shared knowledge with our people. They helped our civilizations grow, taught us ideas of cooperation and innovation, and left a mark that has lasted for generations. Liam blinked in disbelief. He had read some historical records about Viridian, but none of them mentioned humans playing such a significant role. I never imagined that humans could have had such an influence. He said quietly, I thought we were just visitors. The Queen rose gracefully and began to move slowly around the chamber. Her presence was powerful, yet calming. You carry their blood, she said. Her voice both melodic and firm. It is in your nature to think, to create, to lead. That is why I bow to you. You are not just a visitor, you are a link to the past and perhaps a hope for the future. Liam felt a mixture of pride and humility. He had always been proud of his heritage, but he had never expected it to have such meaning on a distant planet. I don't know if I can live up to that. He admitted, I'm just me. Kale smiled slightly. It is not about being perfect. It is about what humans bring naturally: ingenuity, courage, and a willingness to unite. Our people have waited for someone like you to return. Liam's mind filled with questions. Why me? There are billions of humans in the galaxy. Why? Would it be important that I came here? The Queen paused near a large window that overlooked the forest outside. You came because it was meant to be. Our history is written not just in actions, but in connections. Your arrival was predicted, though you could not have known. The trait you carry is rare among humans. It is the ability to inspire cooperation, to see possibilities others cannot. That is what we need now. Liam felt a shiver run down his spine. The words were heavy with meaning, and he realized that his journey was no longer just exploration. It was a mission. Though he did not yet understand its full scope, he looked out at the forest, trying to imagine what challenges lay ahead. Your people, Kale continued, helped us survive when we faced great dangers. They taught us how to build, how to think differently, and how to solve problems creatively. Since their departure, we have survived, but we have also faced division. Some of our species forgot the lessons humans taught, and now there are factions that seek power without wisdom. Liam's heart tightened. He had read about conflicts between alien civilizations before, but hearing it in person made it real. So, there's a threat? He asked cautiously. The Queen nodded. Yes, there are those who do not welcome your kind or the return of our alliances. They believe humans are dangerous, that your species cannot be trusted. They want to seize power and rule without consideration for cooperation or knowledge. That is why your arrival is crucial. You may help us unite the divided. Liam's mind raced. He had trained for emergencies, but this was far beyond anything he had prepared for. He was not a soldier, though he had learned survival skills. He was not a diplomat, though he had studied negotiation. Yet somehow, he understood that he had to step forward. I will do my best, he said quietly, but firmly. I want to help. I want to understand. The Queen smiled, a subtle but powerful gesture. Your willingness is your greatest strength. We have waited long for someone who can approach our world with both courage and understanding. That is why I welcomed you. Kale moved closer and opened a holographic display in the center of the room. Strange symbols and images floated in the air, showing maps of the palace, the surrounding forests, and distant settlements of the planet. Liam studied them carefully. These factions, how strong are they? He asked. They are growing. Kale admitted. They have technology and warriors, but they lack strategy beyond brute force. They underestimate humans. That is your advantage. Your knowledge, creativity, and leadership can help us defend our people and guide them toward unity. Liam felt both excitement and fear. He had always imagined himself as an explorer discovering wonders, but now he faced the responsibility of protecting a civilization. Yet, he also felt something else, a deep connection. This planet, these beings, and his ancestors' legacy called to him in a way he could not ignore. The Queen extended a hand toward him. Liam, there is much to learn, and time is limited. You must understand our history, our ways, and our people. Only then can we face the challenges ahead together. Liam took a deep breath and reached out to shake her hand. The touch was firm, yet filled with unspoken understanding. In that moment, he felt that he had crossed a threshold. He was no longer just a human visitor. He was part of something larger, a link between worlds and generations. Kale led Liam to a smaller chamber, filled with artifacts and books. Some of the items looked ancient, others like advanced tools. Here, you can learn, Kale said. Study our past, understand our culture, and you will be ready for the days ahead. Knowledge will be your strongest weapon. As Liam began examining the artifacts, he felt a mix of awe and determination. He realized that this was not just an adventure, this was a calling. He would need courage, intelligence, and creativity to help the alien queen and her people. And perhaps, in the process, he would discover what it truly meant to be human. In a galaxy that had almost forgotten his kind, outside the window, the forest of Viridian swayed gently in the breeze. Liam knew that beyond the beauty of the landscape lay challenges he could not yet see. But for the first time in his life, he felt ready. He had found a purpose, a reason to go beyond mere exploration. Humanity's legacy was alive here, and he would do everything he could to honor it. The alien queen watched him quietly, her presence calm but powerful. Liam understood now why she had dropped to her knees. It was not fear, nor weakness. It was respect. Respect for what humans had done, for what they could do, and for the connection that now bound their worlds together. And with that understanding, Liam began the first step of a journey that would change both his life and the future. Of Viridian forever. Liam spent hours exploring the chamber of artifacts and holographic displays, absorbing as much as he could about Viridian's history and culture. Every object seemed to tell a story of ingenuity, courage, and cooperation. He learned about the ancient alliances between different alien species, the great discoveries made by his human ancestors, and the moments of conflict that had shaped the planet over centuries. Kale watched silently, occasionally answering Liam's questions. Your ancestors were remembered not only for their skill, but for their way of thinking, Kale explained. They taught us that understanding, creativity, and unity could achieve what force alone could not. That is why your arrival is so significant, Liam nodded. The weight of responsibility settled on his shoulders, but he felt ready. He had trained for exploration, problem-solving, and survival. Now, he would apply those skills to something far greater, helping a civilization protect itself later. Kale led him through the palace to a large observation room. From the wide windows, Liam could see the forest stretching endlessly, and beyond them, small settlements glimmered with activity. It was a peaceful scene, but Kale's expression was serious. There are signs of unrest, Kale said. A faction within our people opposes the queen. They believe humans are dangerous and seek to challenge her authority. They have technology and soldiers, and they act in secret. Liam felt a shiver of concern. Why would they fear humans? He asked. We helped build this civilization long ago. Humans were allies. Kale shook his head. Time changes understanding. Some have forgotten the lessons of the past. Others resent the power humans represent. They fear what they do not understand and act to protect what they think is their right. That is why your presence is dangerous to them. They know humans can influence and inspire. That is exactly what the Queen hopes to use. Liam studied the forest below, imagining hidden groups moving among the trees, planning attacks. What can I do? He asked. I'm not a soldier. I'm not a leader here. I'm just a visitor. The Queen approached quietly, her presence commanding attention. She placed a hand lightly on Liam's shoulder. You are more than a visitor. You are the bridge between our past and our future. The faction underestimates your abilities. They do not know that humans see opportunities that others do not. You will help us defend this palace. Not with brute force, but with strategy, with thinking. Liam swallowed, realizing the gravity of her words. I will do my best, he said. His voice was steady, though his mind raced with possibilities. He had faced challenges before, but nothing like this. The lives of an entire civilization could depend on his actions. Kale led him to a large table in the center of the observation room. Holographic images of the palace and surrounding lands floated above it. Liam studied them carefully. These are the main entrances, Kale said, pointing to several points on the display. The faction knows some weaknesses, but they lack the ability to coordinate a large-scale attack. That is where your insight will help. You see solutions differently than we do. Liam leaned over the table, examining the layout. He began to identify points where the palace could be better defended, where traps could be set, and how patrols could be positioned to monitor suspicious activity. Kale watched with interest as Liam suggested new ideas. You think quickly, Kale said. Your human perspective brings strategies we had not considered. That is why your ancestors were valuable. They were thinkers, problem solvers, and innovators. You carry that same skill. Liam felt a surge of confidence. He realized that even though he was not a fighter by training, his ability to plan and think creatively could make a difference. We need to protect the Queen and the palace, he said. But we also need to prevent unnecessary conflict. if we can show strength and intelligence. The faction may reconsider their actions without a fight. The queen nodded approvingly. That is exactly what we must do. Force alone is not enough. We must inspire loyalty, cooperation, and trust. You will help us do that. For the next few days, Liam worked closely with the queen and Kale. He learned about the palace's defenses, the habits of the guards, and the strengths of the alien soldiers. He studied the faction's movements, noting patterns and weaknesses. Every day, he grew more confident in his ability to contribute. One evening, while examining the forest from a high tower, Liam noticed movement in the shadows. Small groups of figures moved quickly among the trees, avoiding detection. He alerted Kale and the queen immediately. "They are scouting," Kale said, tension in his voice. "They want to know our defenses before launching an attack." Liam felt a rush of determination. "Then we prepare. We strengthen patrols, set observation points, and use the terrain to our advantage. If they think we are weak, they will make mistakes. We can use that." The queen observed him thoughtfully. "You understand. Humans have a way of seeing possibilities that others do not. That is why your presence is vital. You are not only helping defend the palace, you are reminding our people of the value of unity and intelligence." Over the next hours, Liam and the palace guards implemented his suggestions. Observation towers were positioned in hidden locations. Patrols moved in patterns that confused potential scouts. Small traps and warning systems were placed in areas the faction was likely to pass. As night fell, Liam stood with Kale and the queen on the main balcony, looking out over the forests. The moon of Viridian cast a silver light across the land, revealing the outlines of trees and distant settlements. "Do you think they will attack soon?" Liam asked quietly. "They may," Kale said. "But if they do, we will be ready. Your strategies have given us an advantage. They will underestimate you, and that is where we will succeed." Liam felt a mixture of anxiety and excitement. The coming days would be dangerous, but he also knew that he had a role to play. Humans were respected not only for strength but for intelligence, creativity, and courage. He carried that legacy with him, and now he would prove it in action. The queen placed a hand lightly on Liam's shoulder. "Remember, bravery is not only about fighting. It is about thinking, planning, and acting with purpose. That is the human way, and that is why we honor you." Liam looked out at the forests, the moonlight reflecting in his eyes. He understood now that his journey on Viridian was no longer simple exploration. It was a mission to protect, inspire, and lead. The hidden threat was real, but he felt ready. For the first time, Liam truly believed that humans could make a difference. Not only on Earth or in space, but here, on a distant planet where his ancestors had once left a mark. The coming conflict would test him, but it would also reveal the strength of human ingenuity and the power of unity between species. As the night deepened and the stars shone brightly above Viridian, Liam felt a sense of purpose unlike anything he had experienced before. He was no longer just an explorer, he was part of the story that would shape the future of a civilization, and he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The palace was quiet in the early morning, the sun casting long shadows over the crystal floors and softly glowing walls. Liam walked through the hallways with Kale, still thinking about the events of the previous day. The battle had tested him in ways he had never imagined. Humans had shown strength, not with brute force, but with intelligence, creativity, and courage. And yet, something deeper was stirring in Liam's sense. That his presence here was more than coincidence. The queen awaited him in a large chamber, seated on a platform of polished crystal. Her posture was graceful, her eyes calm but intense. Liam approached. Feeling both nervous and curious, there was a gravity to her presence, a quiet power that made him feel the importance of the moment. "You have done well," the queen said, her voice clear and steady. "Your guidance and courage have changed the course of events on Viridian. But there is something you must understand, something that explains why I knelt. When I first saw you," Liam stopped, his heart quickening. He had wondered about that moment since the first day. The queen's actions had shocked him, and now he was about to learn the truth. "Why?" He asked softly, "Why did you kneel?" The queen rose slowly, her movements deliberate and elegant. "It is because you carry a gift, one that your ancestors once brought to Viridian. Humans were remembered for their ability to inspire, to unite, and to see solutions that others cannot. Among all humans, a rare few carry a trait that allows them to bring people together and guide them toward cooperation and understanding. You have that trait, Liam." Liam blinked in surprise. He had never heard of such a thing, yet the words resonated deeply within him. I don't understand," he said. "What does it mean to have this trait?" Kale stepped closer. His wings folded neatly behind him. "It is a rare gift," he explained. "It is not about strength or technology. It is about insight, inspiration, and the ability to unite different beings. Your ancestors had it. They influenced our civilizations, helping us grow and thrive. You carry their legacy." Liam felt a mix of awe and humility. He had always thought of himself as an explorer, someone who observed and learned. He had never imagined that he might carry a trait so important, a trait that could influence an entire civilization. "I don't know if I'm ready for that," he admitted quietly. The queen approached him, her expression calm and encouraging. "You do not need to be perfect. You need only to act with courage, wisdom, and compassion. That is the essence of your gift. The people of Viridian need guidance, not domination. They need someone who can inspire them to work together. That is why I recognized you immediately." Liam's mind raced. The battles, the strategies, the planning, they all made sense now. His role was larger than he had imagined. He was not just defending the palace. He was a bridge between species, a symbol of cooperation and unity. "Your arrival was predicted," the queen continued, "not by prophecy, but by understanding history. Your ancestors left a mark here, a legacy of thought and collaboration. It has been waiting for someone like you to return. The trait you carry is rare, but it is what Viridian needs in these times of unrest." Liam looked at her, trying to process the weight of her words. "So, everything I've done, the strategies, the guidance, the planning, it is because of this trait." Kale nodded. "Yes, humans think differently. You see possibilities where others see limits. You can unite beings who might otherwise fight. That is the strength the queen honored when she knelt." Liam felt a sense of purpose growing inside him. He had arrived as a visitor, unsure of his role. Now he understood that he had a responsibility not just to survive, but to help a civilization thrive. His human ingenuity, his courage, and his ability to inspire others were exactly what Viridian needed. The queen motioned for him to follow. "Come," she said. "There is more you must learn. Understanding your role fully will allow you to guide others effectively." She led him through a series of chambers filled with holographic displays and artifacts from the past. Liam observed the images of humans and aliens working together, building cities, sharing knowledge, and creating innovations. He saw how his ancestors had influenced Viridian, how humans had brought new ideas and solutions that shaped the planet's history. "These records are the proof of your legacy," the queen explained. "Humans were not only visitors, they were collaborators, thinkers, and leaders. The trait you carry allows you to continue that legacy, to guide us once more." Liam studied the images carefully. He realized that humans had always been underestimated on Viridian. Their strength was not only in physical ability or technology, but in their creativity, problem-solving, and capacity to unite different beings. He felt a surge of pride, knowing that he embodied the qualities his ancestors had passed down. Kale spoke quietly. "The faction that opposes the queen fears what you represent. They do not understand humans, and they underestimate your abilities. That is both their weakness and our advantage. You will help us show that intelligence, courage, and collaboration are stronger than fear and division." Liam nodded, feeling determination settle over him. "I understand," he said. "I will do my best to help. I want to protect this place and guide the people. I want to honor my ancestors and help unite Viridian." The queen smiled, her eyes filled with a mix of pride and hope. "That is all anyone could ask. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to act with integrity, intelligence, and courage. That is enough to inspire change and protect our people for the next hours. Liam worked with Kale and the Queen, learning more about the faction, their strengths, and their weaknesses. He studied the palace's defenses, the terrain of the surrounding forests, and the patterns of the alien soldiers. Every detail was important. Every decision could shape the outcome of the coming conflict. As the sun set, Liam stood on the balcony, overlooking the forests. The wind carried the scent of alien flowers, and the soft sounds of the forest created a calm, almost magical atmosphere. He thought about his ancestors, the humans who had once lived on this planet, and the legacy they had left behind. Now, it was his turn to continue their work, to protect and guide the people of Viridian. The Queen joined him, her presence calm but powerful. "You carry more than knowledge," she said. "You carry hope. That is the rarest gift of all." Liam felt a deep sense of purpose. He had come as a visitor, unsure of his role. Now he understood that he was part of something greater, a legacy of humans who had once helped shape a civilization and who could now continue to inspire and guide. For the first time, Liam felt completely ready for the challenges ahead. The faction might attack again, but he knew that humans had unique strengths that could make a difference. Intelligence, creativity, courage, and the ability to inspire. These were not just traits of the past. They were the tools that would protect Viridian and shape its future. As the stars began to shine above the forests, Liam stood beside the Queen, feeling the weight of his responsibility and the strength of his purpose. He understood why she had knelt when she first saw him. It was not fear, not weakness, it was respect, recognition, and trust. And with that understanding, he knew he was ready for whatever came next. The future of Viridian was uncertain, but with human ingenuity and courage, Liam believed it could be bright, and he would do everything in his power to ensure that the legacy of his ancestors and the strength of humans would endure. The sky over Viridian darkened as storm clouds gathered above the forest. Liam stood on the palace balcony, watching the distant tree line where the rogue faction had been gathering for days. His heart raced. This was the moment they had all prepared for the final attack. The palace was ready, the guards were alert, and Liam's strategies had been carefully planned. Yet, he knew the outcome depended on precision, teamwork, and quick thinking. Kale stood beside him, his wings tense. "They are larger than we anticipated," he said, his voice calm but serious. "But numbers are not everything. Your planning gives us the advantage." Liam nodded. "We must remain focused. We use their mistakes against them. We defend strategically, not recklessly." He felt a surge of determination. Humans were not always the strongest physically, but their ability to think, adapt, and inspire others made them formidable. This was his moment to prove it. The Queen joined them, her presence commanding and steady. "Liam, remember what you carry. Your ancestors' legacy is here with you. Inspire, guide, and act wisely. The people of Viridian trust you." The first wave of the faction advanced swiftly through the trees. From his high vantage point, Liam could see the soldiers splitting into groups, attempting to surround the palace. He quickly signaled to the guards, "Deploy 2.3, 5, and 7. Use barriers and narrow paths to slow their advance. Watch for flanking maneuvers." The palace defenses came alive. Hidden alarms sounded, signaling the approach of enemy squads. Traps, carefully placed by Liam and the guards, forced the attackers into predictable positions. The first group stumbled, confusion spreading among their ranks. Liam could see the frustration in their movements. They had underestimated the palace's defenses and, most importantly, underestimated humans. From the observation towers, Kale reported, "Their numbers are strong, but they are disorganized. Your strategies are working." Liam felt a rush of pride, tempered by concentration. Every movement had to be precise. Every decision mattered. "Keep communication open," he said. "Coordinate positions. Remember, we defend intelligently, not recklessly." The faction tried to take the eastern path, thinking it would be the weakest. Liam had anticipated this. Hidden barriers and narrow forest paths funneled them into a zone where palace guards could intercept them. The attackers stumbled into Liam's plan, and one by one, they were slowed down, giving defenders the chance to act decisively without unnecessary violence. The queen moved through the palace calmly, overseeing the battle. Her presence inspired the guards, reminding them that they were fighting not only for the palace, but for unity and the future of Viridian. Liam watched her, realizing that humans and aliens could work together in ways that multiplied their strength. Hours passed. The rogue faction launched wave after wave, each met with careful resistance. Liam moved through the palace, guiding defenders, adjusting strategies as the situation evolved. Every time an attacker found a weak point, Liam had already considered it, redirecting guards and adjusting barriers. His human ingenuity was proving decisive. During a brief pause in the fighting, Kale approached Liam. "You have taught our people to act with strategy, not only with strength. The faction does not understand this. That is why their confidence falters." Liam nodded. "We fight smart, not recklessly. Strength is important, but thinking and planning are stronger than brute force alone." The queen joined them, her expression calm but determined. "Humans inspire hope, Liam. Today, your actions are more than defense, they are a lesson. Our people will remember that intelligence and courage together create strength." The rogue faction made their final push, desperate to break the palace's defenses. Liam's heart pounded as he moved quickly between positions, coordinating guards and ensuring that every path was defended. He anticipated their moves, redirecting troops and using the terrain to maximum advantage. From his vantage point, Liam could see the frustration in the attackers' eyes. They had expected an easy victory, but the palace remained unbroken. Guards moved confidently, following Liam's instructions, inspired by his calm and clear thinking. Kale spoke softly. "They do not know how humans plan, adapt, and inspire. That is your power." The queen turned to Liam, her eyes filled with trust. "Now, guide them to the final stage. Show the strength of unity." Liam gave precise orders. "Focus on defense lines 4 and 6. Force them into positions where we control the terrain. Maintain communication. Stay calm and coordinated." As the rogue soldiers advanced into Liam's carefully prepared zones, they found themselves trapped by barriers, funneled into narrow paths, and surrounded by alert guards. Each move Liam had anticipated played out perfectly. The attackers struggled to regroup, their plans falling apart. The queen observed quietly, nodding as Liam's strategies unfolded. "Humans are not only strong in body, but in mind," she said softly. "This is why I honored you. This is why you are here." By evening, the rogue faction began to retreat, their attack completely repelled. Liam watched them vanish into the forest, exhausted but alive. The palace stood strong, and the people of Viridian had witnessed the power of careful planning, courage, and unity. Kale approached Liam, a proud expression on his face. "You have done more than defend this palace. You have inspired hope, shown the strength of cooperation, and reminded everyone why humans are valued allies." The queen joined them, placing a hand lightly on Liam's shoulder. "Today, humans have proven strength beyond force. They have shown that intelligence, courage, and wisdom can protect and unite. You have fulfilled your role, Liam, and more." Liam felt a deep sense of pride. He had arrived as a visitor, unsure of his role, but now he understood that humans had a unique and lasting impact. His ancestors had once shaped Viridian, and now he had carried on their legacy. Humans could inspire, guide, and protect, not only through strength, but through thought, courage, and unity. As the night settled over the palace, Liam stood on the balcony beside the queen, looking out at the calm forest below. The battle had been won, but he knew challenges would come again. Yet he felt ready. Humans had proven their worth, and he had proven his own. The queen looked at him, her expression both proud and thoughtful. "Liam, you carry the legacy of your species. You have shown strength, courage, and intelligence. Never doubt that humans can make a difference." Liam nodded, feeling the weight of her words and the truth in them. "I understand now. Humans are more than visitors or survivors. We can inspire, lead, and protect. I will continue to do everything I can to help." The stars above Viridian shone brightly as Liam and the Queen watched. He understood that his journey was far from over, but he had learned a vital lesson. Strength alone is not enough. Humans succeed when they combine thought, courage, and unity, and with that understanding, Liam knew he was ready for whatever the future held for himself, for the Queen, and for Viridian. The morning sun rose over Viridian, casting golden light across the palace and the forest beyond. Liam stood on the balcony, taking in the calm that followed the storm of the final battle. The rogue faction had been repelled, and the palace was safe. The air carried the soft sounds of birds and the rustling of leaves. A stark contrast to the chaos of the previous days, Kale appeared beside him, his expression calm but thoughtful. "The people are gathering," he said. "They wish to witness the peace you have helped secure." Liam nodded. He had guided the palace's defenses, inspired the guards, and shown the power of intelligence, strategy, and courage. But now, the time had come to help the people see the value of unity and collaboration. Humans were more than survivors, they were leaders and teachers. Today, he would show them why. The Queen approached, her presence commanding attention. She gestured toward the palace courtyard, where citizens of Viridian were beginning to assemble. "Liam," she said, "your role is not yet finished. It is time to show our people that humans carry the gift of guidance and inspiration. Lead them with wisdom, not force." Liam felt a mixture of humility and pride. He had trained for exploration, but he had never imagined guiding an entire civilization. "I will do my best," he said. The people gathered, their faces curious and attentive. Many had witnessed the final battle, and now they looked to Liam for guidance. He stepped forward, speaking clearly and calmly. "You have seen what can happen when we act without unity," he said. "Today, we defended the palace together. We acted with courage, strategy, and cooperation. That is the strength of any civilization, working together, respecting each other's skills, and guiding one another." The crowd listened in silence, captivated by his words. Liam continued. "The rogue faction acted out of fear and misunderstanding. We can prevent such conflict in the future if we trust one another, share knowledge, and plan together. Humans are here to remind you that intelligence, courage, and cooperation are more powerful than fear and division." Kale watched, impressed by Liam's presence and words. "Your ancestors would be proud," he said quietly. "They always understood that humans lead by thinking, not only by fighting." The Queen stepped forward, joining Liam. "These words are true," she said. "Humans have guided us before, and today they have shown their value once more. Liam carries the legacy of his people, a legacy of thought, courage, and unity. Let this be a new beginning for Viridian." The citizens of Viridian erupted in applause, their voices echoing through the palace courtyard. They had seen humans act not only with strategy but with heart. Liam's presence had reminded them of the importance of trust, collaboration, and careful planning. Over the following days, Liam worked closely with the Queen, Kale, and the Palace Council to rebuild and strengthen the connections among Viridian's people. Patrols were reorganized, communication networks improved, and communities began to work together more closely. Liam guided discussions, helped mediate disputes, and encouraged creative solutions to problems. His human perspective brought fresh ideas and inspired confidence. During this time, Liam explored the forests, visiting villages and settlements. He shared lessons about strategy, cooperation, and observation, teaching alien communities how to anticipate challenges without relying solely on force. Children and adults alike listened intently, eager to learn from the human who had defended their civilization. One afternoon, the Queen invited Liam to a ceremony in his honor. The palace was filled with citizens, soldiers, and leaders from across Viridian. The Queen stepped forward and addressed the crowd. "Today, we celebrate not only victory but understanding. Humans have shown us that courage, intelligence, and cooperation can achieve what force alone cannot. Liam carries the legacy of his people, and through him, We have learned the value of unity. Liam stepped forward, feeling both proud and humbled. I am honored, he said. I did not act alone. Every guard, every citizen, and every leader helped defend this palace. Humans are part of a long history of cooperation. But it is our actions together that create true strength. Remember that your unity and intelligence are your greatest tools. Use them wisely, and Viridian will thrive. The crowd cheered, inspired by his words. Liam felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had come as a visitor, unsure of his role, but now he understood his purpose. Humans were not only explorers, they were teachers, leaders, and symbols of courage and intelligence. Kale approached him, his wings folded neatly. You have done more than defend us, he said. You have inspired us to work together, to think carefully, and to act with courage. That is a gift greater than any weapon. The queen nodded. Liam, your presence has changed Viridian. You have reminded us of the strength within all of us when we act together. Guided by intelligence and courage, you have fulfilled the legacy of your ancestors, and you have created a new path for the future. Liam looked out over the palace. In the forest beyond, he saw the people of Viridian rebuilding, smiling, and working together. He felt the connection between humans and aliens, between the past and the present, and the possibilities for the future. Humans had arrived on this planet long ago as allies, and now, once again, they had helped shape a civilization. As evening fell, Liam stood on the balcony with the queen and Kale. The sky was filled with stars, and the forest below glowed softly. In the moonlight, Liam felt a sense of peace. The palace was safe, the people were united, and Viridian had a bright future. The queen placed a hand lightly on Liam's shoulder. You have proven that humans are more than visitors, she said. You are leaders, thinkers, and guides. Your actions will be remembered for generations. Viridian is stronger because of you. Liam smiled, feeling the truth of her words. I only did what I could, he said. But humans have a way of seeing possibilities that others do not. If we work together, we can achieve great things. Viridian is proof of that, Kale nodded, and you have reminded us all of our potential. You have shown that courage, intelligence, and unity are greater than fear and division. The queen and Kale stood beside Liam as they watched the moon rise over the forests, the palace. The people and the civilization were safe. The rogue faction had been defeated. But more importantly, the hearts and minds of Viridian had been. Inspired, Liam realized that his journey was far from over. There would always be challenges. But he was ready. Humans were not only capable of surviving, they were capable of inspiring, guiding, and protecting. And as the stars shone brightly above Viridian, Liam felt a sense of pride, purpose, and hope. He had fulfilled the legacy of his ancestors, proven the strength of humans, and helped create a new dawn for Viridian. The planet's future was bright, and he knew that wherever humans went, their courage, intelligence, and unity could make a lasting difference. Liam took a deep breath, feeling the cool night air on his face. He was no longer just a visitor. He was part of the story of Viridian, a symbol of human ingenuity, and a reminder that intelligence and courage could shape the universe. And with that understanding, he knew he was ready for whatever new adventures lay ahead. Viridian had a new dawn, and with humans among its allies, the future was limitless. Liam had always dreamed of exploring the stars. He spent his childhood reading old books about distant planets, imagining the strange creatures and vast cities that might exist beyond Earth. When he finally got the chance to join the interstellar exploration program, he knew it was the moment he had been waiting for his entire life. Now, standing on the surface of Viridian, a planet he had only seen in scans, Liam felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. The planet stretched endlessly before him, covered in dense forests of tall, silver-leaved trees. Their branches shimmered under the light of a greenish sun, and soft mist hovered near the ground. Strange birds with glowing feathers flew in patterns above the canopy, singing sounds that were almost like music. Liam felt as if he had stepped into a dream. He checked his equipment, making sure his exploration suit was fully functional, and adjusted the small communicator on his wrist. He had landed near a wide valley, but in the distance, something unusual caught his eye. A massive structure rose above the forest, taller than any building Liam had ever seen. Its walls were smooth and reflective, like a combination of crystal and metal. The shape was elegant, with curved towers reaching toward the sky. Liam's heart raced. Could it be a city, or was it a palace? His instincts told him that he was about to discover something extraordinary. Cautiously, Liam started toward the structure. As he walked, he noticed that the plants here were different from the rest of the forest. Some had leaves that changed colors when touched, and flowers opened and closed as if they were alive. Strange insects with translucent wings hovered near him, moving in patterns that were both mesmerizing and slightly intimidating. Despite the beauty, Liam remained alert. He had been trained to expect the unexpected, and this planet felt full of surprises. As he drew closer, he realized that the structure was indeed a palace. The gates were open, inviting but grand. Liam stepped inside, his boots making soft noises on the smooth floor. The air was cool, and the interior was filled with light that seemed to come from nowhere. The walls were decorated with intricate patterns that moved slightly, like they were alive. Liam's eyes widened. He had never seen anything like this. Suddenly, a figure appeared at the far end of the hall. Liam froze. It was tall and graceful, unlike any creature he had seen before. Its skin shimmered faintly in the light, and its eyes were large and deep, almost as if they could see into his mind. Liam took a careful step forward. He had no idea if this being was friendly or dangerous. The figure spoke, but not in words Liam could understand. Instead, he felt the meaning directly in his mind. "You are here." The voice was calm, powerful, and commanding. Liam's heart skipped a beat. He had encountered many alien species before, but none had communicated this way. Then something even more shocking happened. The figure, now clearly recognizable as the alien queen, dropped to her knees the moment she saw him. Liam stumbled backward in surprise. He could not understand why a ruler, a being of immense power, would show such humility to a human. His mind raced with questions. Was this a gesture of fear, respect, or something else entirely? For a moment, the palace was silent except for the soft hum of lights and the faint rustle of plants. Liam realized that the attendants, smaller alien beings who had appeared from the sides of the hall, were also watching him closely. Their expressions were unreadable, but they did not move to attack. This was clearly unusual. Humans had not been on this planet in many generations. "Hello," Liam said slowly, trying to sound calm and friendly. "I am Liam. I come from Earth." He did not know if the queen could understand him, but speaking gave him a sense of control. The queen remained on her knees, her head slightly bowed. Then the meaning of her gesture began to become clearer. Liam noticed a symbol on her chest, one that seemed familiar from the old historical records he had studied before the mission. His ancestors had traveled to Viridian centuries ago, building connections with the native species. Liam felt a strange sense of recognition, as if the queen somehow knew him, or at least the bloodline he came from. He stepped closer, his curiosity growing stronger than his fear. Why are you kneeling?" he asked, his voice steady despite his excitement. The queen did not answer with words, but her eyes seemed to convey a mixture of respect and reverence. Liam realized that this planet, these creatures, had been waiting for someone like him, someone from humanity. Kale, the queen's advisor, appeared then, a slightly smaller alien with delicate wings and a calm presence. He bowed slightly to Liam and spoke in a gentle voice that Liam could understand directly in his mind. "You are the first human to return to Viridian. Your ancestors helped shape our civilizations. The queen kneels in honor of that connection." Liam's eyes widened. He had studied history, but he had never imagined it could lead to this moment. Humans were thought to be extinct here, yet somehow he carried the legacy of those who had once walked this planet. His pride was mixed with awe. He had come as an explorer, but now he realized he was also a bridge between worlds. The queen slowly rose, her posture still regal, but less formal than before. Liam noticed the subtle confidence in her movements. She was not afraid of him. She respected him. He felt a strange warmth of trust building between them, the palace, the forests, even the strange creatures outside. All seemed to hold their breath as the moment settled into quiet. Significance. Cale gestured for Liam to follow. "Come," he said. "There is much to explain. The Queen wishes to share her knowledge with you." Liam followed cautiously, looking at the intricate walls and the softly glowing lights. Every step felt like walking deeper into a living story, a world full of history and mystery. As they moved, Liam wondered what other secrets this planet held. Why had humans disappeared from Viridian? What dangers might still linger in the forests beyond the palace? And most importantly, why had the alien queen recognized him, a simple human, with such honor? For the first time in his life, Liam felt that exploration was no longer just about discovering new worlds. It was about understanding the connections that span generations, species, and galaxies. He had arrived as a stranger, but perhaps he was about to become a key part of a story much larger than himself. The green sun outside cast long shadows through the palace windows. Liam took a deep breath, ready for whatever awaited him. One thing was clear: his journey on Viridian had only just begun.